I can address a few of the comments of the Sudanese ambassador. I would say distortion and lying are the least of his sins. One reason I was eager to speak to you is because I have now made 11 trips into the region. I spent the entire month of February there, and conspicuously absent is the voice of the Darfuris. And I thought it right and proper to tell you what I've heard from the displaced people both in Darfur and in eastern Chad. Overwhelmingly, they are in favor of Luis Moreno-Ocampo's decision. It was described to me the night that he announced that there might be an indictment, that he had requested an indictment, that apparently that news came over the BBC late at night, that people gathered around the radio, that translations were rippling through the camp, that all were summoned around that one radio in the marketplace. And then when they understood what might happen, which was something that they had something to hope for, there was dancing through the dawn hours and singing, and people went home jubilant. And hope ran. Now, month of February, there was a premature announcement that, you recall, there had been an indictment. It's a bit of a jump on that, but I was in the camps for that. And again, I arrived in the camps at 7 a.m. and heard the drums and the singing as it rippled through the camp, as news spread throughout the camp, and people began, dancing and singing. I've met at least 100 babies named Ocampo. And they spell it O-K-A-M-B-O for my sake, so the name has been Africanized. And I have a big sign, I'll put it on my website, that says, Ocampo, up, up, up. Al-Bashir, down, down, down. So, I mean, hope runs high. And I think if we think in the short term, the population has suffered so much. Everyone in the camps, all 2.7 million of them, if you count the refugees in Chad, have suffered and seen immeasurable losses. The burning of their village, the bombing, the loss of loved ones. 80% of the people in camps are women and children. My reports of sources over the Orokosoni camp, bombers were flying low over Orokosoni on the 28th and 29th of May, and bombs fell within eyeshot and earshot of that camp, apparently, according to Minarcat, on Chadian soil. This to an already traumatized population. People were running, people were scurrying, trying to hide their children. They can't leave the camp, they're surrounded by desert. So in the short term, what they're telling me is, we would rather die than forfeit justice. We don't believe there can be any just or lasting peace with this president, Omar Al-Bashir. They're hoping that the government will be shaken to the point where middle voices will be heard, and that someone, some group, will replace Omar Al-Bashir, and that he will be taken where he belongs, to the International Criminal Court. And in the long term, what are we saying? We must support the International Criminal Court, or every thug who hacks his way to power will have that sense of impunity hiding behind sovereignty. I think it's really important, short term, middle term, and long term.
What do you say to the